right, hello everyone. Tyler King here with the Denver Gazette after Colorado's 36-14 loss to BYU here at the 2024 Alamo Bowl. That concludes the 2024 season for the Buffs, and it concludes the Shedeur, Sanders, and Travis Hunter era for the Buffs. I mean, not exactly the way these guys envisioned going out for their college careers, but not that they'll mind too much. They're not. I don't think at all either of these guys are going to think back on this game too much and let it ruin the 2 years they spent in Boulder playing for the Buffs. Obviously, no matter what the result was tonight here in San Antonio, just a transformative 2 seasons for the Buffs for sure. I mean, I was around for that 1-11 season in 2022. Did not expect that just less than 2 years later the Buffs would be a 9-win team, and if they would have won tonight, would have been a 10-win team. That would have been the first time that's happened since 2016. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's a disappointing game for the Buffs. You didn't want to lose in that fashion where they're kind of beaten in every facet of the game. Offensively, they couldn't really do much outside of a couple big plays by Travis Hunter. They really couldn't move the ball at all against this veteran and talented BYU defense. Defensively, they had a couple turnovers, which BYU's quarterback Jake Retzlaff is certainly the type of quarterback who throws a couple picks a game, and Colorado did that. They finished with 3 of them in the game, but on special teams, I mean, that was a disaster too. They give up. Alejandro Amado misses a 40-yard field goal early in the game. They give up a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown. I mean, the kickoffs still aren't going into the end zone. It just kind of just a disappointing effort. I mean, the Buffs were thoroughly beaten in this game. It wasn't really as close as the 22-point final score differential ends up suggesting. It just kind of felt very similar to the last 2 trips for CU to the Alamo Bowl, their last 2 bowl games in general, just kind of getting blown out here at the Alamo Dome. So maybe Buffs fans won't be too thrilled, or will be trying to avoid coming back here maybe the next couple of times they make a bowl game. And hopefully they're hoping that that's not 4 years from now, because that's been the trend over the last decade or so, is every 4 years the bowl game, and it's the Alamo Bowl where they get blown out. So I'm sure they're hoping things will go a little bit different over the next couple of years, because like I said, it is kind of the start of a new era. Obviously, Coach Prime is still going to be around, and he's still taking this program into the back half of the 2020s here, but he'll be doing it without his 2 superstars. I mean, it's not a secret that the Buffs are where they are this season because of their 2 potential top 5 picks and their Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, those 2 guys just did things throughout their careers in Boulder that we haven't seen in a long time for the Buffs. Travis Hunter, like I said, obviously winning the Heisman, just the second person to do that in program history. I was there for that in New York a couple weeks ago. That was just a special moment for this program, a special moment for him, for the Sanders family, which he is kind of an adopted member of at this point. And Shedeur Sanders could be the #1 pick in the draft in a couple months. He certainly looks like one of the favorites to be that for sure, especially if there's a quarterback needy team at the top of the draft. We'll see how that shakes out over the final couple weeks of the regular season in the NFL and who ends up getting the #1 overall pick. But I mean, odds-on favorite right now probably is Shedeur Sanders to be the #1 pick, regardless of tonight. I don't think that has any bearing on kind of what his standing will be going into the NFL, and he's got a great chance to have a really long, successful career there, just given his work ethic. Everything I've seen over the last 2 years suggests that he's a guy destined to have a pretty long, successful NFL career, and he's got the heritage to live up to with his dad. But I mean, he's his own player in his own right, as well as he's proven time and time again. Whether it's the heroic moments, the Hail Marys, and all of the records he set, becoming the first quarterback to win a major award for the Buffs. So it really has been about these 2 guys. I mean, there are plenty of seniors that help do this as well. Cam, Silman, Craig, who spoke post game to us in the press conference, a guy that played for Coach Prime since he was a junior in high school. It's been a long journey for him too, and he obviously played a huge role, as did many other seniors. But this was, like I described it, the Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders era, because they were the stars. They were the 2 most impactful players this program has had maybe ever. Like I don't think that's hyperbole to say at this point. Those 2 guys have left such an imprint on this program, just with how big of stars they are in the public eye. I mean, it's just like I said, just where this program was a couple years ago, just kind of facing irrelevancy and maybe falling off the college football map for good at some point, and even being relegated out of a Power Four or Power Five conference, whatever. And now they are squarely in the conversation year in and year out for as long as Coach Prime is here, and it has way more to do with just his presence. I mean, they've done such a good job in getting transforming the roster and getting more and more talent in here. But that's going to be tested in 2025. I don't think this game has anything to do with with going into next season. I mean, it's going to be a brand new roster. The coaching staff is going to be largely the same, but I mean, both of these coaches are NFL coaches who are the coordinators specifically with Pat Shermer and Robert Livingston are NFL coaches who are used to kind of reinventing yourself year over year in the NFL, where your roster does look, can look vastly different from season to season. So I think there'll be a lot of change maybe not a lot of change schematically, but it will look different for the Buffs depending on who the quarterback is. I mean, we're talking about this in the post-game press conference, but Caden Salter, the Liberty transfer, and five-star freshman Juju Lewis were here with the Buffs in San Antonio this week, got a couple practices in, and they kind of will be getting ready to battle it out throughout the offseason. And that's something that'll probably go into fall camp, honestly, to see who is the real successor to Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, huge shoes to fill, but they're confident in both those guys that they feel like somebody will emerge and really take the job, because they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna need good quarterback play going forward. It's the most important position in the sport, and CU's been really spoiled the last 2 seasons with one of the best in all of college football in Shedeur Sanders. So like I said, it really does kind of feel a little bit disappointing here, but I'm certainly ripping up the stat sheet. I don't think tonight's game has really anything to do. Just kind of throw it out the window and just kind of appreciate for Buffs fans kind of what the journey has been so far under Coach Prime and what could be to come. We'll see. I think we'll find out very quickly in 2025 how reliant or not reliant this program was on Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and how important they actually were. It could be a little bit of adjustment, but I think you should be confident in the coaching staff, the recruiting department, everybody top to bottom, that they can continue and continue to build on what they've done here, because there is real momentum behind the program, real chance to emerge as a year in and year out contender in the Big 12. One of the teams they'll be competing with in the Big 12 going forward is BYU, who they got their butts kicked by tonight. That's a veteran group too. They were pretty hungry to go out with a win. These were 2 of the top teams in the Big 12 this season, and they project to be next season as well. They will play in Boulder, ironically, in 2025. And then CU, I think, will go to Provo in 2027, if I have that correctly. So this could be the start of a budding rivalry. I mean, there's plenty of respect on both sides. That was clear all week. But like I said, these could be 2 of the teams battling it out in the Big 12 going forward. And tonight could have just been the start of that. I mean, Arizona State doesn't feel like they're going anywhere under Kenny Dillingham. He's done a great job there. There's plenty of other programs that could emerge as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Utah has a bounce back season, or a team like Oklahoma State. I mean, just these historic teams that have had success in recent years that had down years this year. But I think the Buffs have kind of definitely established themselves this season as, like I said, it's a contender in this conference going forward. And as we've seen, all you got to do is win this conference and you're in the college football playoff. And I think CU fans should really feel good about the opportunity that they're afforded in these coming years, where they will have a chance to get there. And I think that's the expectation. That's what Deion Sanders said after the game. He said that what they established this season was expectations for Buffs fans. It's last year was about kind of reestablishing hope for this program, even though it was a 4-8 season. It was just the feeling was vastly different than what had been the previous couple years before Coach Prime got here. But now it's about expectation, and if they don't win next season, if they struggle out of the gate and they struggle in Big 12 play, I mean, that's when the questions are going to be asked, if this was just about Travis and Shedeur, if they were really the true catalyst here. But I mean, like I said, I feel like you got to feel confident about what this coaching staff has done. They're going to continue to recruit guys out of the transfer portal. They've done really well there, and we'll see if the next group, this group group of young guys that will be back, that have plenty of talent, can carry the torch going forward. So yeah, that'll do it from me here in San Antonio. My first time here. It was really fun a really fun trip here. Yeah, Alamo Dome is a pretty fun venue to be at, and it was, like, despite the game not kind of living up to the billing, a fun trip overall. The river walk downtown in San Antonio is a lot of fun, and the Alamo Bowl does a great job hosting us media as well. So thank you guys, everyone, for following along tonight and this season. I'll have plenty of coverage in Sunday's Denver Gazette, and going forward throughout the off season. It's kind of a nonstop, year-round thing covering a big-time college football team like this. So obviously I'll be covering basketball, hoops as well, as the Buffs begin Big 12 play starting next week. So I'll have plenty of coverage from all those games, and hopefully I'll get a chance to do a couple videos during the hoop season as well, before we get right into spring ball in April. It's only a couple months away at this point, and I'm sure it'll get here fast. So yeah, like I said, thanks everybody for watching and following along, and I hope you continue to do so, with me throughout the off season and right into the 2025 season. It's going to be here before you know it.